know who needs to hear this, but you need to surrender yourself over to the process. You need to be able to submit to your goal, to the creative stuff that you're trying to put out, to the job that you want. You need to submit to the process of having it. You need to submit to the consciousness, the mindset that you need to have to achieve it. You need to be able to give your all to something that you can't physically have in this moment and be able to experience the pleasure and the joy and the satisfaction of having it right now. You need to be able to submit to your goals, surrender to what you're trying to do, be the best version of yourself today when it comes to it. And I think through surrendering to your goal, that is actually the highest form of manifestation and attraction of it, because you're no longer allowing the negativity from other people, from outside sources, to cloud you in what you're trying to do. You naturally just allow the flow of energy to come within you, where you're able to just perfectly focus and manifest on it without the distraction. Distraction is truly the devil. Distraction is the thing that's keeping you from doing the things that you really want to do. It's being able to fully surrender, like, no matter what happens, I'm going to surrender to getting this thing that I want. I'm going to surrender to this process. God already told me that this is meant for me. So I'm surrendering my body, my mind, and spirit to achieving this thing, no matter what happens to me. And that's where you actually get it. It's that relentlessness that actually comes from the surrender. It comes from, like, you know what? I don't know everything. I don't know how this is going to happen. I know that I want it, and I know that it's for me. Therefore, my current state of being is already attached to this future state of being. Therefore, it will come into my present moment eventually if I just allow myself to surrender to the fact that it will happen. I need you to be willing to surrender all the negative components that come from your ego, the relationships that you thought you should have had, the jobs that you feel like you should have had, the president that you think that should be in office right now. I need you to surrender these things that you, in ways that you think it should have been. Because if you don't get into the flow. The way you get into the flow to attract the things that you prayed for and some amazing things you didn't pray for is to be able to surrender. Like, you know what? I don't know what's going on. This is out of my control. I'm going to focus on what I can control, and I'm going to give these things up. And that's why a lot of people will say, let go and let God, because sometimes you do. Like, some situations are out of our human control. Our human intellect and our ego will not allow us to get past the situation. So what more do you have to do? You have to be able to just surrender. And surrender is not giving up. Surrender is being like, okay, I have a certain level of power in this situation, and I'm going to exercise the power that I do have. And I'm going to give up all these mental obstructions and distractions and things that don't matter. So I'm able to fully be in service to this goal. A lot of times when you do that surrendering too, your goal will also be a collective thing for other people that will help heal them as well. Whether you do music or you do some type of art or you do like statistics, math, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do, it will involve healing and helping the collective naturally. But you have to get out of your ego. Your ego will only do things for yourself, and your ego will tell you that you have to work really, 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 really hard to get whatever you want. But that's not true. If you get more into the flow state, certain things will just be easier for you. There will always be issues. There will always be distractions. There will always be problems. But when you're in the surrendering state, you'll be able to deal with the problems in a mindset that is much better than the mindset that you would have upon your ego. It's your mind, it's your intellect that is asking the questions, that is being logical about the situation, about life. But life is very illogical. We go through a lot of things that don't make sense, and the way we're born sometimes doesn't make sense, and the things that happen to us don't make sense. So why are we always trying to apply logic to an illogical world or universe that we live in? So many things exist, and we just accept them as facts and as reality, but they're really illogical and they don't make sense, and there's a mystic component to everything in this world. And we're willing to surrender to the mysticism and the mysteriousness of God and be able to just allow randomness to happen the way that it does. we can get into a more accepting state of our life. We can get into a state where our consciousness can deal with the issues, and it can be creative, and it can allow that flow. And like I said, no matter what happens, you're in that flow, and the creative ideas, the people, places, and things will just flow in. But we have to be able to just accept that mysteriousness and stop asking so many questions all the time. It's certain things you can question, and certain things just go with it. Just go with your life and be able to just be like, okay, like I trust. A part of surrendering is trust. I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to be taken care of. And no matter what comes, I know it will get me to a better level, and I can work through it because I have the power to get through it through my surrendering. What are you surrendering to? That's up to you. A lot of people will surrender to the path that God has for them. For me and for a lot of other people, it is surrendering to that path of God, what God has for you. But it also could just be your personal passion and the thing on the inside of your heart you feel like you have to accomplish in this life. There's something in your heart you feel like you should have, or a way that you should be. Surrender to that thing. Surrender to that plan, that purpose, that feeling, and be able to be guided to where you're going to go. A book that I really like is called The Alchemist, and it talks about the main character Santiago going on this quest to get this treasure, and he has to follow his personal legend, or his like purpose. And basically he has to follow his heart and also listen to the signs of the universe. And throughout the book, all these weird things are happening that are very mystical and mysterious, and they never get explained in the book. But all you know is that the main character has to learn how to trust through every scenario to get to this treasure, or this thing that he feels in his heart that he should have. And he's able to fully trust in the universe. Like, you know what? If I get to this one city or place and I have to stay for 2 years and then work on myself, or go to this place and then leave immediately, I'm going to do that. Whatever I have to do in this moment, I'm going to follow my intuition. And sometimes logically it won't make sense, but it will make sense later on. And then I'll look back and laugh and be like, wow, I'm actually kind of glad I went through all that. Haven't you heard people that have been like, wow, I'm kind of glad like that a lot of that bad stuff happened to me when I was younger because it taught me this, this, and this. Or I'm glad that relationship ended because I eventually found my partner for life. You have to be able to trust the process, but you can only do that through surrender. When you're worried and when you're trying to force things and you're trying to change things and you're trying to make things a certain way, you're out of alignment and you're going against surrendering, because all of us have to surrender in our lives to the cards that we are dealt, be able to use what's in our power and control within them. And after you fully have been in that process and mindset of surrendering, you need to be able to also just give your all to it at the same time. A lot of singers do this, and they're really powerful at when they get on that stage, they give their all to the moment. And you can only give your all to the moment if you're currently present and aware of what you're doing. A lot of people are worried and messed up in their lives because their mind, their consciousness is in the past, or their mind, their consciousness is in the future. And you have to be in the present moment in order to surrender and in order to give your all to it. If you just give your all to this present moment and give it everything that you have, you'll be surprised at what you receive back. A lot of times we're not giving our heart to the situation. We're not giving our mind to the situation. And then we wonder why life isn't giving us the results that we want, because we're like, oh, I did the physical hard work, but you didn't fully give your mind, body, and spirit to this thing. You have to be able to give all three of those components for the best possible results. Doing the physical part with your body is just one component, but you need to be able to put your mind into the moment. You need to put your spirit here, your consciousness here, and be able to fully use all your power in this moment. You watch this in a lot of anime where they have that power, the energy that they build up, but they have to channel it and focus it into this fight, into this battle with this villain that's in the series. Focus your energy into this battle, into what's right in front of you, and be able to use all those gifts that I said come from surrendering for this moment, because this is what you need it for. That future can change. There's infinite possibilities of futures. And then the past is already gone. The past only exists in memory. If everybody forgot about the past right now, it would be gone. It would not be a concept because all of us wouldn't be thinking about it anymore. if we read it in books, we wouldn't fully consciously understand because we all have forgotten it or we all have removed it from our consciousness. The reason why the past is even a concept because all of us are constantly thinking of it and remembering things. And that's how we were hardwired. But you're supposed to visit the past, visit the future, but don't live there. Live in the present. Focus on this moment. Use some wisdom of the past, use some wisdom of the future, but really, this moment is the best possible thing that you have right now in your toolkit. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the amazing, beautiful things. My name is Tabari. I'm glad that you're here with me listening. And if you watch this video to the very end, I want you to leave a random plant emoji. Doesn't matter which plant you use or flower. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. See you later.